Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ask Ron. We've got some great questions lined up for you this week. Ron, are you ready to jump in?
Fire away.
All right. The first set of questions we have is from Tony and Angie Stewart from Ohio.
Of course.
All right. Their question is, I know that when a tenant buyer does not exercise their option within the agreed period, you let them continue to stay there, essentially becoming renters with responsibility for maintenance. In this time of increasing taxes and insurance prices, is there a time frame where you would look to increase their monthly payment? Like a cash flow of 500 monthly would become less as those costs increase over time.
All right. Number one, I don't ever give anybody more than a 2-year term at one time. That gives me the right to negotiate or just levy, raise in rent when it comes. And if my expense is going to go up, their expenses are going to go up. Just that simple. And you mentioned that at the end of the 2-year period, I don't make them move out. No, I don't. I don't want them to move out. I want them to stay there as long as they want and keep paying my debt down and let the house appreciate while they're in there. And yes, if they do stay after the 2-year term, I'm still going to make them responsible for the repairs. Now, landlord-tenant law says that the landlord is responsible. And technically, when their option expires, I'm responsible. On the other hand, I have the right to either leave them in there if they accept that responsibility or move them out if they don't. And that's exactly what I'll do. One of them calls me and I don't know, something is broke. I'll tell them, well, do you want to fix it and stay in the house, or do you want me to fix it and give you a notice to move? And miraculously, they take on the responsibility of fixing it. So I guess that answers the question, doesn't it, Jess?
It does. That's a perfect answer. Thanks, Ron. All right. Next up, we've got Steven from New York. His question is, should we provide something regarding a mortgage interest to the tenant buyer, like as if you would receive from a traditional bank?
A tenant buyer has nothing to do with a mortgage. Tenant buyer is paying you rent. That's that simple. You have to take everything you owe underneath out of that rent, which includes the taxes and insurance. But most of the time, your underlying loan has an escrow account that already has the taxes and insurance in it. Therefore, all you're doing is collecting it from the tenant and passing it on to the first mortgage company in the form of a payment. It's already, they've already decided how much is principal and how much is interest before you bought the house, and they won't change it until the next year. So you just keep on making a payment, and principal and interest is covered in that. Now, if the seller gets a notice that they're going to raise the interest or whatever they're going to do, then obviously at the end of the anytime you want, actually, if they sit there after 2 years, there is no technical term after that, so you have the right to raise the rent anytime you want. You'd want to give them 30 days notice, but everybody understands prices are going up. They go up on me, they're going to go up on you. They go up on diesel fuel, they're going to go up on groceries. It's just a chain event. So it depends on how long they're going to stay in there, honestly. But if there's some major changes, you better believe insurance is the biggest thing you look at. Now that I'm saying this, I just got a letter today that they're canceling the insurance on my home after they've been insuring me for about 40 years on various homes and 23 in this one for no reason. And I can assure you that when I go pricing out other policies, they're going to be higher than that now. But, that was their choice. They decided to cancel it. And what am I going to do? I'm going to do nothing except go get another policy. All right.
Great. Thanks, Ron. Next one up is from Dr. Larry from Kansas. His question is, does anyone know how to fill out these land trust forms? I've seen the examples and watched the videos, but I still don't understand terms and what goes in each line.
Land trust documents have nothing to do with financing. That's just a document that transfers title into a trust, period. And if you're watching this, that means you're a Gold Club member. So go on your site and go to training. And up at the top in the box, put land trust. And here comes a whole bunch of stuff. And one of those is, I think, about an hour and 15-minute course I did on land trust. And then when you say you don't know what to put in the blanks, really, have you taken a close look at the blanks? There's not very many blanks on that thing. Okay. On the deed is the one you record, and all it calls for is the seller's name and the trustee's name as trustee, and the date and the county and legal description there, and the space at the top, and that's about it. That's the deed. And then, of course, it has to be notarized and signed to be recorded. And then the trust agreement is even easier. There's 7 pages of documents there, and I think you have to write on about 3 of them. The first page, decide, who's the beneficiary, who's the trustee, the name, address of the property, does the trust have a name? And then on the back page, it identifies the trustee and the beneficiary. And another page divides their interest in the trust. And that's it. Frankly, that is it. And you do not record the trust agreement anyway. You put it in your filing cabinet, but you got to record the deed or you don't have a trust yet. And I don't see how you can look at my samples and what you're in my boot camp, man. Maybe you've been there, maybe you don't. I don't know, but geez, it's really very easy. So I think you're working hard to make it hard, or you just don't understand what you're doing is probably the case. And then I get that. So if you can't figure it out from my samples, send one in. Where would they send it, Jesse? As a Gold Club member?
They can drop it in the form in the Ask Ron, or they can send it to ask@ronlegrand.com.
Okay, ask@ronlegrand.com.
Yes.
And what I want you to do is just fill out the deed and Genius scan it or whatever you use and send it and say, did I do this right? And it'll get to me. And
Yep, I'll be on the lookout for that.
A year from now, you'll be laughing about how much energy you put into this simple land trust. Now, to be clear, I heard it 7 times before I did anything as well. So, that's what men do. Right, Jesse?
All right. That is so true.
Mhm.
All right. Next one up we've got is for Traci Scott. She's got a kind of a 2-part question. So it is it legal? And I know you all are not lawyers, and okay if you have a property under lease option to buy with the current owner. Part 1 of the questions: may I get a contract with my end buyer to buy outright from me? I'm pretty sure that's okay, she says. The other part of that question is, can I either get a loan contract with my end buyer to let them make a down payments in the middle for the same term I have on the option with the current owner, and a balloon payment in the end?
All right. Several questions within that one. If you get a contract that you're going to purchase the property from the seller, you have the right to go get yourself another buyer, period. Cash buyer. You can't sell it to them with owner financing because you don't have the deed. At least you shouldn't. So as long as you got a contract, you got to have a contract before you can even go looking for a buyer. Now, when you find a buyer that's cash, that's easy. You won't, well, maybe it's not so easy for you, but you're going to have to go back to the seller and get a new contract signed. Let's say you're making 20 grand on the deal. Okay, you're going to raise your price $20,000 more than what you owe the seller. So you're just going to get a purchase and sale agreement signed, but you need to put your seller's name at the top, because when they go check the title, they'll find out you're not the owner. So the seller will be selling it to your new buyer. And if you didn't pave the way to do that up front, like I would, then you got to go have a discussion with the seller. Look, we're about to cash you out. I need a contract from you directly to my buyer. And you just add the $20,000 that you've already collected or scheduled to collect. So if you bought it if you owe the seller 300, you're selling it for 320. So the seller deeds it directly to the buyer, and you get the difference from the closing agent. You can call it consignment fee or option fee or consulting fee or whatever you want. Just don't call it commission, because you don't have a license. Now, I know that that would probably be pretty difficult to comprehend going in, so I think there's a lesson on the Gold Club about that, isn't there? I know you don't remember, do you, Jesse?
There's got to be. There are so many things in the Gold Club. If
Yeah, I
there's
know.
something that you're not sure about, just put it in the search engine.
Yeah. I teach it during my boot camp. I know that, but I just don't remember if it's on the Gold Club or not. You have to do your own searching. Mm. The key is actually in the conversation you have with a seller going in. Just tell them when I find a buyer that's going to cash us out, I got to come back to you and get another contract because I won't be on title, which is true. All right.
All right.
That answers the question.
Yeah, I think that answers your questions.
Does that
Thanks,
answer
Ron.
that question?
That part of the question. There was a second part. I'll
What
repeat
was the
that
second
one.
part?
She wants to know if she get a loan contract with my end buyer to let them make a down payments in the middle for the same term that I have on my option with the current
Yeah,
owner.
that's actually what I said.
Okay, that's what I thought.
If you owe the seller 300,000 and you sell it for 320, you'll get the 20. You'll get the 20 the day they close the purchase from the buyer. So again, closing agent will cut you the 20 and pay off the 300,000 to the seller because they got to have the clean title to sell it to somebody else is going to buy it for cash.
Got
And
it.
by the way, that's your opportunity to discount the note to the seller. If the seller's got a bunch of equity in the note, I'll give you one we just bought. Paid $440 for it, nothing down, under owner financing, worth 5.25, need no work. Now the seller owes $341. We owe the seller $440. Okay, so when that cash buyer comes to the table, as soon as we get one, and brings in the 5.25 purchase sales price, then the closing aid is going to pay off the underlying $440 that we owe the seller, and the rest I get. However, no way I'm going to let that closing agent contact that seller to get that payoff statement. And I'm going to be very clear on that, and then put it in writing. Do not contact the seller. I'll get the payoff because I'm going to discount the difference between the 335 and the 440. I owe the seller 440. They only owe 335. So I promise you I can get them down to get that 440 down to 400 because I got a 5-year balloon on it. And the farther away you owe the money, the bigger discount you can get right now, which is the way it should be. The time value of money is a lot less than the initial value of the money. So I owe 440. I'm going to try to get it down to 400. 400. And then, I mean, like she's still going to get the difference between 335 and 400. And she slipped and told us in somewhere in the conversation that she'd take as low as 400 for cash anyway. So think about that. One phone call, I could easily make $40,000 by discounting that underlying debt, but I would only do that when I know that seller is going to cash me out. Okay, so I'm using the proceeds from the deal to pay off the seller, and I'll get an email from the seller that they'll take 400 for their total payoff. And then that goes to the title company, and that reduces the amount of their payoff, which increases the amount the title company's got to cut to me. And now I'll let the title company or the attorney go to the underlying first mortgage to get a payoff, but not on that wrap. Not on that wrap. That's my job. Very easy, and that's I usually make more money on the back end than I do on the front end when I owe the seller a bunch of money. I never had one who couldn't discount.
Nice.
That was a long answer, wasn't it?
It was. It was a good answer, though. An answer plus an example. Thank you,
Okay.
Ron.
So you understood what I said?
I hope Tracy did. All right, well, that's all the questions we have for this week, Ron. Do you have
No,
anything for our
no,
listeners?
no, it's not. Guys, we got a 7 o'clock call tonight now for anybody who wants to get on it. We did one for mentoring students last night. We do one this night for anybody and everybody. So you got time to come. Well, I'm sorry, they're not going to see this till Friday, aren't they? Well, we're taping it on Thursday, so scratch all of
Yeah.
that. But we do have a call once a month where I do it for the whole group. And if you're just seeing this today, it's already over. Sorry, we'll see you next month.
Well, that's okay. We're doing a Gold Club call with Barbara will be the host on February 10th.
Really?
That's the next Q&A call.
Is that for questions? Okay.
That is for Q&A, questions and answers.
Yeah, we're adding several calls to our agenda here, and we got some changes coming up. And by the way, we have an implementation power day, which is 2 days on February the 12th and the 13th, where we put all your systems on your laptop sitting in your room and get you ready to, in fact, we even show you how to pull mailing lists from our new Dreams Pro and how to skip trace them. And you'll see the postcards and letters that you can just mail them with a punch of a button. Cheaper, they can put a piece of mail in almost cheaper than you can pay for the stamp. So it's called Dreams Pro. In fact, you might want to go look at right now at dreamspro.ai.com, and it'll tell you all about it and the levels that it's in and what we're using it very, very heavily. And by the way, the pre-screening part is worth its weight in gold, because you can pull up 1,000 names and pre-screen them down to 65 names by just putting motivation factors in the parameters of your pull. And here's another thing: once you pick the list and save it, from that then on, you're going to get all the properties that come in that are in that list, and they're just going to automatically come to you. And you know, these are qualified people, because we're not chasing them; they're chasing us. And you know, we're running ads to get them to contact you. So obviously they're way more motivated than you're calling people on Zillow or whatever. And make a note that on March the 12th and through the 14th, we have a 3-day real estate summit coming up with all kinds of talent on it, with all kinds of ways to make money within real estate, maybe even a couple outside of real estate. And that's going to be free. Just let me see, ronlegrand.com/dreams. That's it, /dreams. If you are watching this and you're in a mentoring program, it's $1,000 for 2 people. If you're a master, it's $500 for 2 people. If you're none of the above, it's $1,995 for 2 people. And I tell you, when you leave, you're set up and running. And we're going to make sure all that happens while you're there. That's why you got to bring your laptop. And you might want to bring anybody you're working with so they can see how to handle this as well. All right, Jesse, I think that's about all I got.
That was some great upcoming events happening.
Yeah, if you want to get in the implementation power days, I got a few slots in that. Do not have any slots in my quick start school for February, but we can put you in March right here in Jacksonville as well.
That's right.
It's a great year, guys. Things are going fast. Trump effect is really having a big difference in the marketplace, and I can see the excitement. I know you can too, and I see some big things happening this year. It's good that you get your training before you get well into it, and if not now, when? We got a really special deal on the quick start school as well. Cheapest I've ever sold that thing. So call our office and at least have a chat, and they can bring you up to date on what's in it nowadays. And if you're there, I'm there, because I still teach it, all 4 days of it. All right. Okay, is that it?
That's all. Thank you so much, Ron. We'll see you next week.
See you all next week or whenever. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.